Hi, welcome to the Mangala Samiti podcast, where I talk about business, life, personal development, and other ideas that matter. I am your host, Mangala Samiti, and I am many things: a chartered global management accountant, CFO, author, voiceover artist, and so much more. But I really am just one thing, and that is a creator. I create content and solutions to problems and challenges. I hope this podcast will help you on your own journey to greatness. So I sat down last week trying to think of what to talk about this week, and I couldn't quite decide. I was having some form of a mental block. And the funny thing is, there are a lot of things that I can delve into, and some of those things are the power of no, and how I spent an entire year just learning to say no, getting out of your comfort zone and pushing to the limit to see exactly how far you can go, stretching to the limits of the rules or box that has been set for you, or getting out of that box, or challenging yourself to be better, to do better, and just be a better version of you, or my learning lessons from when I was rapping, or my stint as a graphic and web designer, or when I went to university to study medicine but had the realization that business is actually what I wanted to do, or so many other things. But I really just couldn't settle on one thing. But as I was thinking, something came across my mind, which is in line with the podcast episode I did a few weeks ago regarding the power of a questioning mind, and not just doing things because people say it's right, but actually having your own mind to question things and come to conclusions all on your own. That plus other things, and actually getting out of the comfort zone. So I thought, let me tell you a story about my dad and I. He's a great man. It has his flaws. I mean, who doesn't? But he's been such a massive influence in my life. So here it goes. See, my dad grew up in a family of three from a polygamous household. His dad, my grandfather, had, I think, three wives, and my grandma, my dad's mom, bore three boys, and my dad was the last of the three. In his family, he's the one who went to school and was educated. He's also an accountant like me, also a chartered management accountant, and he did something for himself with that education, so he swears by education. Geez, my dad and education, they're inseparable. My dad doesn't drink alcohol. He hates the stuff. That I remember this one point in time when I was in Zambia, I spent an afternoon with my friends enjoying vodka and lime. Geez, that combination, that drink was the shit. And I got so drunk. And when I went home, my uncle and my aunties flipped out and they called him. And he flew all the way back from South Africa to Zambia just to come and scold me and put some sense into me. I laugh now, but it wasn't funny. It wasn't funny then. Now, I don't know if he knows this or not. Maybe if he doesn't, then he will now. But every Friday, especially after a long week, I enjoy a glass of whiskey, just to relax. After a long week, it's nice to just de-stress and just relax with a glass of whiskey. So growing up, all I ever wanted to be was a doctor, and I worked so hard, scored the grades to make this dream a reality. And it's all I talked about. So when I went to university, and after the first semester, told my dad I'm done. I rather want to go and do business. He couldn't believe it at all. It hit him hard. So he questioned me from all sorts of angles, thinking maybe there was something I was not saying, maybe I was struggling or something. But the truth is, I was just done. I didn't want it anymore. I genuinely wanted to go and do business. It just wasn't for me. And even though it's all I had ever spoken about ever since I was young, people would ask me, but what do you want to be when you grow up? I only had one answer. I just wanted to be a doctor. And even when I was getting into university and they ask you, what's your first choice, your second choice, your third choice, I couldn't think of any other profession. So I just listed different fields of medicine. So general practitioner, a GP, or a cardiologist. I don't remember what the third thing was, but it was something to do with medicine. I think it was gynecologist. Gynecology is actually an interesting field. But anyway, fast forward a couple of years, and I'm doing my management accountancy, and I just finished the third level, management level, right before the strategic level, and I realized a lot of people in this class that I was with were all working, and they could easily relate to the stuff that we were learning. And it dawned on me that I was quite behind and needed to also go and begin acquiring the relevant experience in finance. Also because I would needed to qualify as a fully fledged chartered management accountant. So I told my dad I didn't want to continue studying and wanted to spend some time acquiring the experience before I went into the final level and completed this thing. And it hit him hard once again. He wasn't too pleased. And he told me, look, why do you want to do this? Just go and finish it. Look, I'll cover all your educational requirements, and I'll even sponsor you to do a master's degree if it comes to it. And remember, I said he swears by education. And I listened to that, and it made zero sense to me. Zero, nothing. That's an exaggeration. It did make sense to me because I understand where he comes from. But what I mean is, to me, I couldn't understand why he couldn't understand that I had to gain experience and not just become a professional student. And that's what I would end up turning into, and I would be overqualified for positions, which happens when you've got so much higher level qualifications without the relevant experience. So you go and start applying for junior jobs, but they keep telling you, nope, too overqualified. Why? Because you don't have any experience. All you've done is you've just spent time in school, acquired higher level educations, an MBA, you're an MBA holder, large qualification, which is the management accountancy, but you need experience. So I just said, no, I'm going to go and look for a job. And it's a decision, once again, I've never regretted at all. You see, I look back now and I smile and I laugh because I did a lot of things, but I didn't want to be in this comfort zone. And I needed to get out and experience life for myself. I've had to push myself to limits I didn't even know I had, and these have helped me greatly, immensely. And I've done this plenty of times. I can think of other examples and other experiences that I've had that I could also share with you, but I've done it plenty of times. And that's what I want you to take from this. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever tried to go flat out and see how much you can achieve if you try to push yourself? Like really tried to push yourself. Have you experienced what the true limit of your power is, if you even have a limit? Like really. You see, I challenge you to pick a goal, set your mind to it, and go flat out for it. Like flat out, and really push hard for it. You see, the times that it seems impossible and people tell you that you can't do it, continue going for it. You'll find that it's a very transformative process, and you'll reap the results of this metamorphosis. Like, what really do you have to lose? So, go flat out and just see how much you can achieve if you try to push yourself. If people keep putting you in a box, try to step out of that box and do something for yourself. Just try to push yourself to whatever limit. And when you feel like you're reaching the limit, just continue pushing yourself. And the metamorphosis that you'll undergo will be absolutely rewarding. It's such a fantastic and sweet experience. So I definitely wish you the best in this endeavor. And if you have any feedback or thoughts at all, do send me an email on mangaliso.meety@gmail.com. Thanks for all the feedback that you have been sending to me to date. As always, I enjoy all the feedback that you send to me. Thanks so much. Until next time, have a great week.